The second United Nations offensive was on the North African front. British General Alexander had taken over the supreme command in this theater. General Montgomery led the British 8th Army. At El Alamein, on the night of October 23, 1942, the Allies started their drive against the German Afrika Korps. After a heavy artillery barrage, General Montgomery surprised the Germans by reversing blitzkrieg tactics and sending his infantry in first. A week later, British tanks were pouring through a gap in the enemy's lines. This sledgehammer blow smashed German resistance. It rolled the Afrika Korps back in a retreat which was not to stop until they reached Tripoli, 4 months later and 1,200 miles away. Most of these prisoners are Italians who had been left behind for the Germans to cover their retreat. This is the German General von Thoma, commander of the Afrika Korps. And these, the fascist governors of Tripolitania. But the drive to Tripoli was only the eastern prong of a gigantic pincers movement. From the west, on November 7th, 1942, 500 transports, protected by 350 naval craft, accomplished what was at that time the greatest amphibious operation in history. American and British troops, led by United States General Eisenhower, landed in French North Africa. Their objectives were to remobilize French forces in North Africa, to join with the British in Tunisia, and eventually to sweep the Germans from Africa and the Mediterranean. The Vichy government stood passively by while Hitler occupied all of France. But at Toulon, the French scuttled the bulk of their fleet before the Germans could seize it. Many of the officers went down with their ships. Some units managed to escape. Among them was the dreadnought Richelieu, which steamed into New York Harbor, proudly flying the tricolor. Again, as in the First World War, the people of New York paid tribute to their traditional French allies.